And welcome back. This is the Get Lit podcast from Southern Lighting Solutions. My name is McHugh David, co founder of Southern Lighting, and I am joined by my business partner, fellow co founder. I'm going to let him take a second to introduce himself real quick.
My name is Tarek Alamuddin, although I'm probably just going to start saying Tarek here because my last name is too long.
Yes, it is long. I know we keep it with first names on our email because then we have at southernlightingsolutionsinc.com. But yes, Tarek
Yes.
Eliminine, business partner. Today we're talking about a industrial job that we did, and we will continue to be working with this company. I'm going to let you tell the audience who the company is here in just a second. But getting a lot of good feedback from them. There were a lot of different portions of this project we're going to go through. An indoor workspace, industrial level, retail area, and an outdoor area. And now we've gone back to do some more updated work after we've
Sure.
cleaned up the original. So first and foremost, we're going to go to you, the light designer. Talk to us about this company and sort of how this opportunity came to be.
So the company in question is Lindy Oil and Gas. I guess they recently bought out Praxair locally, and they're a Fortune 100 gas company. They do a lot of I don't know what the right word is. I mean, gas. They do gas is what they do, but
Sure.
helium and for balloons and filling stations and a whole different other slew of operations. Either way, they're big. And they came as a referral through BNI.
Sure. RBNI. Thank you, Sean Root.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Sean Root. That was a great referral. We went out, we met with them, we did a walkthrough of what they had going on. They were very specific with the requirements, what they were looking for. They really didn't have any layouts, so we took some rough measurements and we pulled off Google Maps and, of course, Dialux, which I love to use. We gave an estimated simulation of how many units they needed, doing the one-to-one replacements, and making sure they were fully compliant with the standards of their safety and operation. So they had to have wire guards and the whole 9 yards. So we did that simulation. We laid it out for them at first because we're a small business. I guess they were maybe a bit on the fence. But we showed them the software, we showed them the program, we showed them how it was laid out, the light levels that they required. They had not told us what they needed. They kind of led it to us, and of course we have preset levels in our software as guidance, and we fully hit the metrics of that simulation. So they said, "Go ahead. We're gonna go on a leap of faith with you guys." And
as of their response, and the fact that they have brought us back out to the original site that we worked on, which is Choctaw, or on Choctaw in
Yep.
Baton Rouge,
Yep.
We've continued to do more work for them as things have kind of cropped up.
Yeah. So when we first went out to do the retrofit, so they were using very, very, very old fixtures, which were 2 foot by 4 foot with TA tubes, and I haven't seen that in a decade. Those kinds of fixtures. So the place is old, and we changed it with 1 foot by 1 foot fixtures. And when they first saw them, they thought we were so full of baloney, it's never gonna work. But they were committed, and our team, Eric, great electrician, got it all set up, and they were blown away. So that was phase 1, and it's night and day for them. Phase 2 there was we added a night light. So a night light, in essence, when the workers showed up, there was no actual light path to guide them from where they were coming in to get to the place where they clock in and turn on the lights for the facility. So we added a completely separate line so they wouldn't have to come in on their cell phones, turn lights on or flashlights, which is a safety issue. The third thing we did was we upgraded all the exterior lights for their perimeter. They were using very old metal halides and halogen lamps, which just kept going out continually. So we brought their safety levels up, not just their light levels, but their safety levels, which is very important part of their mandate with upgrading this facility, and they are exceptionally pleased.
And as they upgraded the rest of the facility, their work area and their outdoor area, and they said, well, with all that, we can't let our retail area look the
Sure.
way it looks either. So we ended up going in there. That was basic, though.
That was basic. 2x4s, 1x4s. Yeah, it was very basic. We're working on something pretty cool for them right now, which is to add a thin lens to the standard 2x4s, to a few of them, which will have the Lindy logo etched onto it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty cool technology, if you will, or an aesthetic, because you don't have any light loss, but you have that nice, Lindy aesthetic coming through when you look at the ceiling. And that's, a newer generation of ways to move forward, because everyone gets tired of panels. How do I do something different? Well, we have this offering, and we have, a multitude of standard choices and a multitude of custom choices that can be done.
Sure. You just have to tell us what you want on your lens, and we can
Yep.
get it done for you.
I should say this because it's important for us, and this is a shout out to us. I mean, it is our pod, so we're shouting ourselves out anyways. But the 4-foot panels were the 4-foot vapor type fixtures were our monument fixtures, which are 100% made in the United States.
Yep. And that's made, not assembled.
Yes.
100% made in the U.S.
All the components inside it were made in the United States, with the exception of the ballast, the driver.
Right. And of course, we've talked about drivers and LED and how that works a lot when you and I first started doing these shows.
Yeah.
Boy, it's hard to believe that was 2 years ago. And we ran through about a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of fell off. So,
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah. So here we are. We are back and doing these shows. So, as we worked through this entire project, we ended up kind of finding our way into their good graces, and we're probably going to be doing other facilities for them. But I want to back up for a second. There's a great, if you were watching this, you would have already seen a picture of it. There's a great side-by-side that you took where you were standing in between two bays in their work area.
Yep.
One side on the right had already had the replacements made. The left side was what they had been working with.
Sure.
Kind of want to work through a few points there. One, very important to mention that the wattage reduction between what was there and what we did is huge, roughly 60%. Maybe a little less.
So no, they went from it was 240 watts in their existing, and we dropped it down to just below 90.
So about 85 watts. So
Yep.
About 66%.
Yep.
Worth of a drop in terms of their wattage expenditure, and of course those lights stayed on a lot. That was a work area, it was a safety area, and of course we have improved the safety. You already mentioned that before.
Yes, sir.
Want to talk about the fact as well that in some situations, this one not so much. We just ended up doing a one-for-one replacement because we were using those 1 foot by 1 foot fixtures. But in a lot of cases, you can use your light design experience to reduce fixture count.
Absolutely. But that was not the case with what they wanted or what they needed. I'm a big proponent of reducing the number of lights. A lot of people are not, and I get into trouble for it. But in this case, the best solution was to do just simple one-for-one replacements.
Sure.
And our team was in there. We were finished all those high bays, 127, 128 of them. I don't remember the exact number, but we were done in under a week.
Sure. All in the entire facility for our first round of work. It was roughly 110,000 square feet, and we finished in about 3 weeks.
Something like that, yeah.
Roughly 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We've gone back out there for a few smaller jobs to kind of clean up. It's one of those things where all of a sudden everything gets cleaned up over here, and then you start noticing, kind of like they did with their retail area, it's like, well, we can't leave that like that.
Yeah.
So if y'all come back and fix that, we'd appreciate it. So appreciate Sean Root for that referral. Appreciate Lindy for trusting us with their business.
It's a good shout out for BNI.
Oh, yeah.
That referrals happen.
They do, and you never know when they'll morph into something.
Yep.
Because as of right now, Sean Root, who used to be a chef, is now a home inspector, a jack of all trades, that one, but used to be involved with Praxair and Lindy.
Yep.
So was able to give us that connection. So thank you, Sean. Hopefully we can repay the favor in some way, shape, or form. Shout out to our headlamps. We've given him a couple of free ones. So I hope he enjoys those. And we appreciate him testing those out for us as well and giving us some good feedback. But want to, from that direction, want to talk about one project that we've done prior, before we wrap up the show today, to kind of talk to people about when you get a good electrician in there and you change out your lighting. A lot of times you're going to find some things that you may not have known were there, and you may have caught on. I'm talking about Sporting Center.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they had a neon sign on the south side of their building that hadn't worked in years because they have had to continually install new lights to try to keep the area lit up. We went in using the Entergy program and their rebate program, completely redid all of their lighting, including their warehouse lighting with LED. Suddenly that sign had enough power to show up and light up. So that was interesting. But tell us, real quick, you were the lead on the Sporting Center, and I believe our electrician was actually the one doing some of the install anyway. What was that like going through that with them?
Out front retail, it was a simple retrofit from the existing 2x4 lay-ins to the LED ones, but there was so much light coming off. They had a lot of track lighting, which really was not used to the appropriate effect that it should be used. We understand why they put it there, but the explanation was, with the 2x4, what you have, you're going to have enough light to get the results that you want. Now, if you want to highlight or focus on an area, that's what the track is for, to highlight, centerpieces you may have. For their laser engraving, for woodwork, for whatever else it is that they're offering off as specialty products. In the back, they had these 2x4 T5 fixtures, which is relatively common. We see quite a lot of it. That we just updated for high bays, standard high bays with reflectors on them. Now, I know I've said it before, a lot of people see their high bay, say, they're DLC certified. They don't have a reflector. They're actually missing the final portion of being DLC certified.
A good piece of important information there.
Just the high bay by itself might be DLC certified, but it doesn't fully meet the requirement if it doesn't have the reflector in place to assist with all the glare.
Sure.
And that's when you have higher up ceilings, it's not as big of an issue in certain places. But if you have people going through with forklifts and all of that, and they look up, they're gonna get glared out. So it's they act as the expression. It's a glare bomb, which you don't want to have. But going back, we did the entire walkthrough with Sporting Center. We showed how much money they could effectively save. The reduction in the amount of heat coming out of those fixtures. The place is, obviously very well lit now, and the load reduction on the grid was so much that neon sign, in fact, did turn on. They thought there was a problem. They had, apparently, as I understood it, various electricians going out to figure out what was going on, and it all came back to the load on the existing electrical circuits.
Sure. And so we were able to clean that problem up, and
it solved itself right quick for them.
Right, and a sign that probably hadn't worked, I think they told us, in about 10 years, suddenly turned on.
Yep.
So good for them. But I wanted to bring those two together because it's very interesting. When you light a place up, what you can find, and as we're working in it, we like to come back to whoever we're working for, point out issues, point out things that they could change, and offer up a change order to see if they want to do it. So thank you, sir, for walking us through that Lindy project, and thank you for walking us through Sporting Center as well. That was an older project of ours. We appreciate Sporting Center throwing in with us so quickly. But if you'll introduce yourself as we wrap up.
My name is Tarek. That's it. No last name.
And you are?
Co-founder of Southern Lighting Solutions.
And my name is McHugh David. I am also a co-founder of Southern Lighting Solutions. This is the Get Lit podcast. It's a podcast brought to you by Southern Lighting, where we talk about lighting and electrical work, which we are doing currently in the Baton Rouge area down to New Orleans. Please remember that we do have a website, southernlightinginc.com, and we are on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. We're also on Instagram. We do post pictures on Instagram. So we try to capture these projects as we do them. If you're looking for us, you can find either one of us at our name at southernlightinginc.com. You can send us an email. We appreciate you joining us, and we will see you next time.